Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys and yeah. I guess I'm pretty much long overdue to pretty much do another thoughts video for, of course, this month for sure. But hey, I guess it's after pretty much what we experienced last month with, of course, a lot of big name releases for sure. Yeah, you know the ones I'm talking about. With, of course, the new Minions movie, the new Evil Dead movie, bashing at a Disney live-action remake, but did pretty much did go up afterwards with, of course, the new Christopher Nolan movie and the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I guess it's no big surprise that last month was quite a massive one in terms of some new movies coming out for sure. So yeah. But seeing how August did start not too long ago, and I was easing myself down from seeing new movies for sure, and yeah, with, of course, some new videos that I wanted to do for some time now for sure, to which, yeah, thankfully, I'm glad I actually got those done. Yeah, looks like August this month is giving us some pretty decent releases as we speak, because hey, I do need a little something to wind down a bit since after what we got the previous month for sure, so yeah. And it is actually quite fitting by far because probably by the time we're in this month, looks like within a matter of time, summer vacation will be over soon, and well, yeah, I guess that also means to all the parents watching this, it's time to get your kids back to school, or start thinking about getting your kids back to school for sure, and not to mention, pretty much for the fact that pretty much the cold fall weather will start to kick in pretty soon for sure. So yeah, I think you can kind of get the idea, of course, of that front. Summer is still going as we speak, but we still got a long ways to go before it'll come to an end, and the cold fall weather will kick in once again for sure. So yeah, but you kind of get what I mean by, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, but anyways, I guess to help fill in the void, I might as well do what I do normally in these thoughts videos and talk about pretty much some new movies that came out that I actually got the chance to see. With one of them, I'm actually talking about here today for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say, of course, that front for sure. And well, in regards to today's movie we're going to be talking about here today, well, here's something that may actually surprise you in such a way. I guess for today's movie we're going to be talking about, how about a survival flick that centers around an entire neighborhood being invaded by dinosaurs? Yeah, I'm quite surprised as you are just by hearing that premise out loud for sure. Like Yeah, like, it's almost like something you would see, like, in a Jurassic World movie. Well, trust me, the Jurassic World sequels have been trying to do that, and they never really took advantage of it for sure. Except this movie that actually did for sure, so yeah, I think you can kind of get what I mean by, of course, what I'm talking about here today. That will, of course, tie into, of course, the newest movie that I actually got the chance to see very recently, which is none other than The End of Oak Street. So yeah, that is, of course, what we're going to be talking about here today. It is, of course, the latest film that just came out not too long ago, and yes, I've got a lot to say, of course, this one for sure, So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, I guess before going into, of course, this movie, I'll be completely honest, I really didn't know what I would expect pretty much going into, of course, this one for sure. In fact, judging by from what I've actually seen in the trailers for sure, I think it does kind of look like it would probably give me, of course, pretty much what I would expect for sure. Just a regular old survival flick about pretty much a family in a neighborhood, pretty much that's being invaded by dinosaurs for sure. So yeah, I guess given to what I've actually seen by far, yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. Yeah, except for the fact that based on my knowledge alone, I honestly do think this film would actually be rather decent. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the best assumption that I actually got when I saw the trailers for, of course, this movie. I actually do think this film actually looks pretty decent for sure. Yeah, I mean, okay, I can't necessarily say it looks absolutely terrible, nor even fantastic for sure, but I think it actually looked okay. But at the same time, I think it might also give me something rather interesting for sure, because yeah, I'm quite curious to see on what they decide to go for with, of course, this movie for sure. So I think it is actually quite fair for me to give this movie a fair shot and see on how it actually turned out for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can put a hands down. So yeah, so luckily enough, right around earlier today, by the time I'm recording this, for sure, I did manage to get myself in to officially go and see this movie for myself. All thanks to everyone at Crown City Cinemas for letting me do that as always. So yeah. Well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this one now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I'm honestly quite surprised, judging by what I've actually seen, and yeah, I guess with, of course, what I've actually seen by far, yeah, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, I know the trailers actually may look decent for sure, but after seeing the entire movie in full, yeah, I will say this movie is actually pretty good for sure. So yeah, that's probably the best way you can actually put it hands down. I think he actually did deliver a pretty solid flick from what I've actually seen. And well, is it by all means pitch perfect? No, not particularly. In fact, I think there might be a few things that did kind of preventing it from being a perfect movie. But for what it is, I actually do think it's actually pretty good for what it is. So yeah, I guess despite a few issues that I actually have with, of course, this one, I really like this movie a whole lot. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, now that I actually got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I really do think the story in this movie is actually really quite nice for sure. It is actually structured out quite well, and of course, what he actually has going for hands down, and actually really does center around pretty much the main conflict that pretty much needs to be overcome for sure. And yeah, I really do think they did deliver on that quite nicely for sure. They really had a whole lot going for with, of course, what he actually has provided. And yeah, I really do follow through with, of course, what I've actually seen by far. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually describe the story, of course, of this movie. And yeah, I really do think they really did do a nice job to really structure that out as best as they can from what I've actually seen. And yeah, I think it did deliver on that quite nicely for sure. Might be a few bumpy in some areas from what I can gather, but I really do think it is actually quite nicely done. So yeah, that's pretty much the best way I can describe the story, of course, of this movie. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, yeah, that too alone is also done pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, as of course, pretty much it is actually crafted out quite nicely to really actually give us something rather unique and interesting for sure. And again, might be a few bumpy areas from what I've actually seen, but I really do think they fall through on that quite nicely for sure. And yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it hands down for sure. And yeah, maybe I guess with a few tweaks here and there, I think it could have been Oscar worthy for sure. But for what it actually is, I really do think it is actually quite nicely done for sure. And yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it, in my opinion. So yeah, so I guess give it to what I've actually mentioned. Despite a few issues here and there, I do think the story and the writing for, of course, this movie really is actually quite nicely done for sure. And I really do admire the amount of hardworking effort to really try to make this movie look good, and they did accomplish that quite well. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, well, now that I actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to mention for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters. And yeah, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, the characters, of course, of this movie, I really do think they're actually given some pretty nice development from what I've actually seen to really try to make them likable and interesting for sure. And yeah, they really did do a bang-up job to really make them likable and interesting characters for sure. I really do follow through, of course, each and every single one of them that I've actually seen by far, and they actually do make it in such a way that I really do want to care for these characters for sure. Yeah, and of course, whenever something bad happens to them, for sure, they really let it sink in, for sure, and you actually buy their emotions that they're going through, hands down. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it for, of course, the characters for sure. But whatever the case may be, I really do think it is actually quite nicely done for sure, and I'm actually impressed with what I've actually seen by far. So yeah, that's pretty much the best way I can actually put it for, of course, the characters for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, that too alone really actually deserves a lot of recognition for sure. I really do think the actors actually pulled off some pretty good performances that I really do think actually work quite well for sure. And yeah, I really do think that for while I can't necessarily say it's by all means great acting for sure, I still think it is actually good enough to still carry out a good movie for sure, and that's pretty much what we actually got here for sure. So yeah, And probably, I think, probably the two standouts, in my opinion, and of course, this movie would probably have to be both Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway for sure. They really gave their all to really make their characters work whenever they appear on screen for sure. And yeah, I really do admire their commitment all the way to really actually make this one work quite well. And yeah, they both did a fantastic job in portraying their characters quite well for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it for the actors for sure. Yeah, like I said, they did pull off some good performances, but both Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor really gave it their all to really make this one work, and I really do applaud their commitment all the way. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it for both the characters and the actors. And of course, this one for sure. Yeah, it is actually quite nicely done, hands down. And I really do think they really gave it their all to make this one work quite well. And I think it is actually quite nice. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, well, now that I actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, for sure. Yeah, like, of course, pretty much another aspect that I should mention that I only applied to horror movies for sure, but I can definitely mention, of course, this movie for sure is probably, I think, the toning atmosphere for sure. And honestly, if I do have some massive problems with, of course, this movie, is that I do think its toning atmosphere kind of feels a little disjointed in such a way for sure that I really don't think really applied with, of course, what they actually got going for with, of course, this one for sure. So yeah, it's not by all means bad, but it's not really something that will really get me hooked on for sure. Like, of course, I know pretty much the beginning and the end, to which I won't spoil for sure. Yeah, they can be a little out of place with, of course, this one. But I really do think the middle portion where they do get to show on what they showed off in the trailers for sure really is actually what drives this movie to absolute perfection for sure. So yeah, but maybe I think if they would have reworked it here and there and maybe do a little retooling on the toning atmosphere for sure, I think it would have landed on something really great for sure. I dare even say absolutely fantastic all the way. It's kind of like what I actually thought of Rat Race not too long ago for sure. Yeah, I guess, yeah, pretty much anything. Yeah, the beginning and the end of that movie I do kind of thought was a little slow, but by the time the middle of the movie came around, that's where I do think it starts to get really great for sure. And yeah, that complaint I actually compared it to doesn't actually hurt the flick all the way and makes it terrible for sure. And yeah, I still think Rat Race is actually pretty funny for sure, but I guess that complaint I actually had, yeah, did kind of preventing from me saying that I enjoyed this movie a whole lot, but still actually deliver, of course, what it's actually giving us for sure. And I can make the same argument for, of course, this movie as a whole. And again, maybe if they did rework the pretty much, or of course, retool the toning atmosphere a bit, I think it would have landed on something really great for sure. So yeah, but that's actually one of a few complaints that I actually had with, of course, this movie for sure. To which, yeah, it's not bad per se, but I think it could have been a little better than what I was expecting for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Now, of course, the production design, I will have to say, yeah, that too alone, yeah, I can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt that I really do think pretty much the production design is actually really outstanding for sure. And yeah, I'm not even joking when I actually say I really do admire what they actually did to really make on what this movie is actually giving us actually look great. And yeah, they really did accomplish that quite well. I really am impressed with what I've actually seen by far. So yeah. Yeah, like, of course, with not only some really great set design and location scouting that they actually did, which really actually is actually quite amazing for sure, and I really do admire on what they actually had going for hands down. But also the visuals and the effects, I'm not gonna lie, really actually is quite amazing. Yeah, with, of course, the really nice, pretty much usage of CGI that they actually did in a good number of effects, and with what they actually showed visually for sure, you really do feel like it's actually pretty much helping out, and of course being in the film's surroundings for sure. And yeah, I am actually really convinced that the dinosaurs, of course, this one are actually really there for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, it's actually really quite nicely done for sure, and actually giving off some really great Jurassic Park vibes when I actually see it for sure. And I don't mean like all the other movies that I've actually mentioned. No, I mean like the first Jurassic Park movie, where you actually are convinced that the dinosaurs in that movie are really there for sure. So yeah, so I can make the same argument for, of course, this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, it is actually really quite nicely done from what I've actually seen, and I really do admire on what they actually did hands down. So yeah, that's how great the pretty much the production design for, of course, this movie is, and I really do think they really did a fantastic job of course that front for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say of course that front. Now, of course, the direction in this film, to which I should mention right now, this film is, of course, pretty much directed by David Robert Mitchell, who is also well known for giving us the iconic horror masterpiece, It Follows. And yeah, I guess with what I've actually seen by far, his direction, of course, this movie, yeah, I will have to admit, he really is on his A game with, of course, this one for sure. Yeah, you can tell that he really wanted to work hard to really actually work around the material that he actually came up with to make this movie work quite well. And I really do admire his dedication all the way to make it look fantastic for sure. So yeah, I think given to what I've actually seen by far, it really is actually quite amazing, and I really do think he really is on his A game for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it hands down. Yeah, David Robert Mitchell really did do a really great job directing this movie for sure, and yeah, he really is actually really putting a lot of hard-working effort to make it work quite well, and I think he did do a fantastic job on that front. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say on that aspect alone. And of course, the cinematography, I will have to say, yeah, that I will have to admit is actually pretty much fine for what it is. Like, of course, you actually do get some camera shots from what I've actually seen that I really do think actually work quite well for sure. But at the same time, though, there are a few other camera shots that I do think could have pretty much that could have been done a whole lot better than what I was seeing for sure. Like, of course, it is there, yes, but I think the wrong kind of camera shots from what I've actually seen could have been done much better in a much better movie for sure. Like of course, you could have actually gone for pretty much another angle to where to point the camera for sure. To really try to make it pretty much more outstanding for sure. So yeah, but like I said, there are some that I thought are actually quite good, but at the same time though, I just really kind of felt they could have done a much better job with some much better camera shots that they actually did. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say, of course, on that front for sure. Now, as for the editing, I have to say, well, that too alone is caught up pretty decently for sure, and yeah, I really do mean when I actually say I'm kind of half and half with, of course, the film's editing for sure. Like, of course, there are some cuts in it that I really do think work quite well to what they actually got going for, but at the same time, there are a few other cuts that I really do think could have been a little better than what I was expecting for sure, and again, maybe I think it could have used a little retooling here and there from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, and let's not forget to mention the film's pacing. I will have to say, yeah, that alone. I really don't think it's actually bad per se, but yeah, I think it could have been trimmed up a little better for sure. Like of course, there, you got some parts in it that I really do think flow quite well with, of course, what it's actually going for. But at the same time, though, a few other parts, of course, this one might have actually gone by either too fast or too slow from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, and again, I guess there's hardly any balance from what I've actually seen to really try to stretch it out a little bit. And yeah, I think maybe with a few extra minutes that they could have added in for sure, I think they would have laid out something really great for sure to make this movie a whole lot better for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say, of course, that front for sure. But again, it's not all bad per se. I just kind of wish it could have been a little bit something more great or even that interesting for sure. So yeah, so I guess that's all that I could say on that front. And yeah, give it to all that. And despite some issues that I actually have here and there for sure, I think it will still get you the idea on how much I really like this movie all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, overall, despite several issues I actually have with it, hands down, The End of Oak Street is actually a pretty much not only a really good movie, but I really do think it is actually a pretty solid flick that gave me pretty much why I not only what I thought was gonna be, but really took me by surprise in the best way possible. Is it by all means great, let alone pitch perfect? No, not particularly. In fact, I just wish it could have been done a little better than what I was pretty much expecting in some areas for sure, to really try to make it much more of a greater movie all the way, but with the few extra pieces that actually do work for sure, that I do think actually makes it well worth the watch for sure. So yeah, I guess either way from what I've actually seen, I can't necessarily say it's by all means one of the best movies that I've actually seen this year, but I still think it is actually pretty good nonetheless, and I really do admire the pretty much the really strong amount of hard work and commitment to really make this one work quite well for sure. And I really do applaud this movie with what it's actually going for, hands down. And yeah, all that sort of stuff from what I can gather for sure. So So yeah, like I said, it's not by all means a fantastic movie from what I've actually seen, but I really do think it is actually a really good one that I do think is well worth checking out for sure. And yeah, regardless on what I have to say about it, yeah, I still think this movie is actually worth the recommendation, of course, on my part for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, if that's something you're actually looking into all the way, then yeah, I do highly suggest checking this movie out for sure. Yeah, you're probably not going to get something that's actually really great, but you are going to get something that will get you on the edge of your seat for sure, in the best way possible, hands down. And yeah, I think this movie really is going to give you exactly that for sure. One that's not pitch perfect, but still worth spending about over an hour and a half checking out nonetheless. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually put it hands down. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I think I'm being fair on, of course, this one, and I'll give The End of Oak Street an 8 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't necessarily say it's one of the best movies that I've actually seen by far, but I really do like it nonetheless, for sure. And yeah, maybe with a few tweaks in here and there, I think it could have resulted in a much better movie for sure. But for what it is, I'm really glad that we got this movie for what it is, hands down. And yeah, still actually makes it well worth the watch nonetheless. So yeah, I guess that's probably the best way you can actually put it. So if that's something up your alley, then, well, pretty much get right out of your neighborhood and fight off some dinosaurs to see this movie for yourself, hands down. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I might as well ask all of you guys, what do you think of The End of Oak Street if you've actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoy it? I think it's, by all means, a really fantastic movie all the way, or you think it's just good, like what I just thought of, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time for sure? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just fine for what it is? So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I'm quite curious to see what you guys think of this one. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and yeah, we still got about a couple more weeks for sure before this month ends, hands down. So I think we might as well bridge the gap with any other future releases that'll be coming up for sure. So, and let's see, I know we still got less than a couple of weeks before Coyote vs. Acme comes out for sure. So hopefully I might be able to pretty much do something and maybe catch another new release to help bridge the gap for sure. So yeah, I can't necessarily say what might that be, hands down, but I'll be sure to let you guys know later on down the road. But until that actually happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with SamAttack4427’s, SamAttack4427’s Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, Ackleyattack4427’s@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.